Welcome to VT Sports. I'm your host, Danny Kanell, alongside Chris Manno. As always, fun show lined up for you. We even have a little show and tell saved for the end. That's right. My new trading card addiction has got the best of me. So we're going to do a little live opening here on the show. We got to get into the Super Bowl. We'll give you a little preview of that. We've got some Hall of Fame snubs out there from some of the best ever. We'll give our thoughts on that with Robert Kraft now left out. But I want to check in with my guy Manno here, see what's going on. How we doing?
Everything is good, man. Good as usual. Excited about the game.
Yeah.
Moved in a new home recently, so
Woo.
We're rolling, man.
A lot going on.
A lot to do, a lot going on, yeah.
I like that. So there's a great game that's on Sunday, but there was an awful game that I watched last night. I am done with the Pro Bowl. The Pro Bowl is dead. The NFL needs to kill it. They need to stop playing it because not only is it an embarrassment to the NFL, it's an embarrassment to flag football, which, by the way, is going to be an Olympic sport coming up here in the 28 Olympics. It is embarrassing to see guys going out there, walking around, going through the motions, Micah Parsons wheeling around on his little buggy half the time in the middle of plays. It is a laughable product that I just don't know why the NFL still puts it out there. It's unnecessary, and it is going to get somebody hurt, actually, because they're goofing around, acting like a bunch of fifth graders, but not even trying hard. I would actually see fifth graders trying harder down the street at the middle school than I would in that game last night.
Yeah, the problem with it is it's bad in like so many ways. It was bad from the time they picked the roster, right? Because there's guys on the roster. I mean, they were working their way down to Justin Fields to come play in the Pro Bowl. Deion Sanders played in the Pro Bowl, right? He was there, and it was cool from like a celebrity perspective. Like, it's good to have him there. You know, he's a good story for the game, but it's terrible in the sense of guys who are probably far more deserving not making the team. And those things go into like long-term voting with like Hall of Fame and stuff that we're going to talk about later. Like, it's important to be a Pro Bowler, you know what I mean?
Yes.
But on a flag football standpoint, man, I gotta talk to the camera real quick, because flag football, guys, I don't know if we've talked about it a ton. It's something I still do and participate in at a very high level for flag football. Obviously, it's not the NFL, but I play in the national tournament every year with guys and against guys who were NFLers as recently as a couple years ago. This is not the flag football that we play. This is what we talk about, like it's in the group chat right now, and we are all so frustrated because we do want the game to grow, and there is so much opportunity and room for the game to grow. And I think it's going to be happening on a younger level. As like, I know myself, I have a mom. My mom got sisters. She didn't want her kid getting hit in the head as a young kid. The same thing with my aunts. They won't let my cousins play until a certain year. This is a great way for kids to start to acclimate themselves to a great game and do it in a safer way. And I think the NFL has put a conscious effort into really growing this game to the point where they've made it an NFL sport. I mean, an Olympic sport. And don't get it twisted. Without the NFL's, backing, this does not become an Olympic sport. Right. And it's going to be, they're putting a ton of time into bringing flag football players from Team USA, both male and female, to these things and putting them out there for exhibits. They play at halftime at a lot of these games. And it sucks because the game that we play and the game that these USA kids play is far more competitive than that. And I just want to see them play each other one time. It'll be a shootout. The NFL guys would probably win, but when you see how hard they play, it remind me of remember we saw one quarter of it in the NBA All-Star game about 10 years ago, where the guys took it serious, and you're like, wow, there's so much there. Yeah. There's so much there.
Yeah. It's in this play specifically, I remember this happened to be the 5 minutes because I couldn't watch much longer. Joe Burrow actually gets the ball back, makes a move here, and they were talking about how he juked out Kevontae Turpin. He didn't juke out anybody. Kevontae Turpin just watched him run by because he didn't want to get embarrassed, and they just let him go in. They were talking about Joe Burrow's jets. I'm like, no, those aren't jets. That's just a defense that is not trying at all. It makes everyone look bad. It makes the broadcasters look bad. It makes the players look bad. I actually like the skills competition better, and I think actually they try a little bit harder when they have the quarterbacks throw at the targets, kind of old school style when they're coming across, or you have receivers make catches. But that game is like an MTV Rock and Jock, flag football game.
Yeah, even the MTV Rock and Jock, those were fun when I was growing up, though. I used to love those. But if you're going to do that, then do that. Get some celebrities involved. You know what I mean? Let them play with these guys. But it's tough, man, because there is so much there. Because to see the athletic ability of these guys and the catches that they could make, and just how much fun it would be. It's a hard sport to play at full speed when you're just coming off a season anyway. But to ask these guys to get engagement, I don't know what it is, at how you get them excited about it. You know, it's not like basketball where you can pit them against the world and they start to have some pride in their country and go from there. But it is hard, man. I don't know. Like I always say, though, it starts with the best players. I don't know who those guys are even. It's a weird thing, right? In the NBA, LeBron is still around. Granted, he's not my favorite, but he does have a hold of the ear of the younger players. Same with the CP3s. Same with the Kevin Durant's, right? They say something, the younger guys, adhere to it. Do you feel like there's guys like that in the NFL? Like guys who could go to the Pro Bowl right now and, like, I think Aaron Rodgers is like an elder statesman. I don't know that if he says, like, guys, let's do this right.
No, there's not. The game has passed that era by, especially when, they don't use pads anymore. It's flag football, so they kind of set the tone of this isn't our sport. It's a different sport. And I love flag football. I think it's great. As you mentioned, a lot of youth are playing. Girls flag football is blowing up right now. Nebraska just announced they're having a D1 Power 4 level program where they are going to give scholarships. They already offered a girl. So I think it is great, but it's just a different sport than tackle football, which is my question. Why do they still have it?
But you know what's so funny? It's if you were to get a bunch of NFL guys to train together in the offseason in shorts and T-shirts and do one-on-ones,
they go
harder. Hard as crap.
Yeah.
Right? So I don't think it even is a matter of, like, the contact, because you could get these guys invested and working hard somehow or some way. It could be a great time. I just don't understand what it is, man. It's they don't take it serious. I think NBA sort of ruined the whole All-Star game thing for me, period. When guys are getting 200 points a game and they're trying this crazy stuff, it's silly. So
yes, and they need to take it out of any player's contracts. The bonuses for making the Pro Bowl, it should be all pro. That should be the bonus, and maybe they do need a second team all pro so that guys can get those bonuses if they are truly hurt and they can't play in the Pro Bowl itself. But they need to come up with a better system to that. What they don't need to fix is the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Because we got a great matchup where the New England Patriots are facing the Seattle Seahawks. It is interesting, though, because last week was dominated by Bill Belichick's, diss by the Hall of Fame. Yeah. Then it was Robert Kraft. I feel like this Super Bowl is kind of flying under the radar when I think it is a really intriguing matchup because it doesn't have Tom Brady, Patrick Mahomes, like the Josh Allen, Joe Burrow, any of the true superstars. Right. And yet you've got an emerging star in Drake May. You've got a great story in Sam Darnold. You've got a personality in Mike Vrabel. You've got a young, up-and-coming, very smart coach in Mike McDonald. I think this actually has a ton of potential to really be a fantastic game.
Yeah, we talked about this a couple of weeks ago. Like, do you think more people are pumped up to see new blood in the playoffs, or more of them pumped up to see the usual guard not there? And I think we're kind of seeing it, right? Because I myself, I couldn't have picked two better teams that I like to see, especially the way they're coming in. I love that it's a rematch of the Super Bowl with the Marshawn Lynch and the Richard Sherman thing. I think that's a really cool storyline. Yeah, lots going on with the Patriots otherwise. I think that might have pulled, like you said, some of the attention away. But, the game itself should be awesome, man. Too high flying off. It's the first time in, I think, since 50-something where a top 4 offense and a top 4 defense is playing a top 4 offense and a top 4 defense. Mm-hmm. So that's pretty crazy to think about. I was wondering last week how much – because, I don't know why. I guess I do know why. A lot of my friend group are big believers in the script. They think that the NFL makes and decides exactly what's going on.
Then this would prove that wrong.
Well, that's what I said to them. I said, guys, if that's the case, don't you think the Rams would have been in? Patriots probably is a little bit sexier, right?
Absolutely.
You got LA in the game. You got Stafford in the game. You got McVay in the game, Puka in them. But, I guess I don't know why. To some people, it's not sexy, man. I think people might still have a little Patriots fatigue. And I don't think a lot of people know too much about the Seahawks. And listen to Darnold's story, though. It's incredible. There's so many matchups within the game that are going to be awesome. I don't know if we're going to touch on those later. But the matchups inside the game, Drake May against that Seattle pass rush is going to be awesome. Christian Gonzalez versus Jackson Smith and Jigba. The matchup of leading receiver in football versus probably one of the elite young corners in football, right? We're going to see the two of them match up for a million years. And I think that's a fun one to watch. But I don't know, man. I don't know why it's not getting the fanfare it should.
Oh, I think it's just a lack of star power. It's pretty evident that these are not familiar names to NFL fans yet.
Right.
And that's where I do think if you did have a script, it is great to see a young player like Drake May, but you would love to see him going against an old veteran. That storyline would be great. Matthew Stafford, back end of his career. Drake May's just coming, a passing of the torch, if you will, for that one. That would be outstanding. You would want one of your bigger brands. The Seahawks, and this is no offense to Seattle, it's probably one of the bottom tier brands in the sport. So it just doesn't garner a lot of attention. They would much rather have the Cowboys, or the 49ers or the Rams. And again, it's not a diss to the Seahawks. It's just, it's a region of the country that doesn't garner a lot of attention. Like, how many times do you see on the national talk shows them debating the Seahawks?
Yeah,
they just don't come up. But if you have the star on your helmet, if you have the Giants or Jets, then good or bad, they're going to be talking about you all the time. They just don't spend a lot of time talking about Seattle.
Yeah, and this is one of the times it bites the league in the butt where they're big on the whole nobody's bigger than the shield thing. So between wearing a helmet, like this is things we see in the NBA where they do such a masterful job of marketing their players. It's sometimes it's good, sometimes it's bad when you give these guys the ability to kind of do whatever they want. But the fact that we have helmets on, a lot of people don't know a lot of guys' faces, which doesn't seem like a lot, but it's a lot. You know what I mean? And the fact that they make a conscious effort to make it the NFL bigger than a lot of just the players, it makes it hard that when you end up with a matchup like this and you want some star power out there, it's not there at the level that you hope. But guys, let me assure you, if you're not familiar, you're going to have stars everywhere here. Sam Darnold himself is still under 30. So if this is on the trajectory he's going, one of 5 quarterbacks ever to win 13 games and back-to-back 14 games and back-to-back regular seasons with all the quarterbacks you know. Drake May is making his case for his first MVP. Don't be shocked at all if over the next 5 years he's going to end up being just a staple there. Jackson Smith and Jigbo, one of the top picks in his draft, top receiver in the league. And guys, just a sidebar, 4th time ever that the leading receiver in the NFL has made it to the Super Bowl. Every other time that guy's team has won the game. So that's an interesting thing, too. So get used to some of these guys, man. There's some good players out there. If you're not invested now, pay attention to them.
So I hate this, and I'm actually mad at myself for bringing up this question.
Okay.
But where do you think these quarterbacks would rank after this game? Win or lose? Because I do think it elevates them into that conversation.
Of course.
If Drake May wins, I think he kind of automatically gets in. He was the number 2 overall pick. Was it 2 or 3? He might have been 3. So he was 3rd overall pick.
Yeah.
First rounder. He's had success in his second year. He plays great. I think he's thrust in that conversation without much pushback.
Okay, so here's what I think. I think the way it has to happen is a thing, because I think even till this day, when we talk about Peyton Manning, and Peyton Manning is a Mount Rushmore guy, when you think about Peyton Manning's 2nd Super Bowl, what pops into your head?
What, the second one with the Broncos?
Yeah.
How bad he was all season long?
Right.
Yeah,
so I don't
more
think
interceptions
the
than
defense
touchdowns.
carried him, right?
Yes.
That's kind of what I think. Drake May, the way he's been the first 3 games of the playoffs, if he comes out and he fumbles twice and throws a pick and he's got a 27 QBR, I don't think it does very much for him. But if he's a catalyst as to why they win, and if Sam Darnold puts up another game like he did last week's probably the best I've ever seen him play.
Yes.
346, 3 touchdowns, 128 rating. So if he does that, I think that elevates a guy like Sam Darnold into that top 5, top 6, top 7.
See, what I think is interesting is I think Sam Darnold will still have to overcome perception because he's had a bumpier path. I think if Drake May goes out there and he's either one, let's say they're both MVPs.
Okay.
Let's say you have an MVP from Drake May or an MVP from Sam Darnold.
Okay.
I think if Drake May's MVP, everybody's like, yep, that's the future. He's top 5. If Sam Darnold is what's he going to do next year? I'm not sold. And it's human nature. I'm not saying it's right or wrong.
Yeah.
I'm saying because he's taken the long road, because he's had some bumpy years, because Minnesota thrust him aside and actually got their general manager fired.
Yes.
It's a hurdle, a perception thing that isn't fair.
100%.
But Sam Darnold still has to overcome that.
So what I would ask you is this. Now, it's become such a huge thing, rankings and where does this guy fall, Mount Rushmore. So now I have a system to it.
Yeah.
So the first thing I would say to you is this. If Drake May wins this game, he has a good game, and he gets thrust into this top 5 we're talking about. Who's he replace? Who's coming off? Is Mahomes out? Is he better than Mahomes?
I think there's 4. I think there's 4 that are kind of untouchable.
That's what I think, too.
And then, so I think I would put Drake May in the top 5, but in that category, which is pretty damn special.
Yeah, I guess, is there another quarterback who's had, an MVP-like year like this that we don't mention in that? Look, Matt Stafford. Is Matt Stafford a top 5 quarterback? Because he's going to have to be better than... No.
No.
And you think if Drake May wins... You think right now, today, Drake May is better than Matt Stafford?
I do.
You
Even though I thought Matthew Stafford is the MVP.
I don't mean like who would you start your team around right now?
No, I think
right now you
Drake
take
May
Drake
is
May.
pretty special.
You do.
And I think his mobility actually brings another level to him that Matthew Stafford doesn't have anymore.
But I think Drake May is so much more susceptible to a mistake than Matthew Stafford is right now.
He's pretty well in the playoffs. He struggled a little bit, but he's pretty good with the football.
He's very good. I just think about who is going out.
Did you
if he's coming up.
Jalen Hurts in your top 5 after his Super Bowl win?
Yes, I did.
You did.
I thought Jalen Hurts was awesome.
See, I did not
because I watched him outplay who I think is the greatest quarterback on the planet right now.
Right,
and he did it twice. You know, I've seen him play twice, and he was right there with a -1 fumble. He may have 2. You know, so yeah, I was very impressed.
Where do you have him now?
Oh, yeah, he's falling out a ton. He's falling down a ton.
So I try to go by the entirety of the work, not just one game.
That's fair.
And I think he had one of the best offensive lines in the game. He had Saquon Barkley, one of the best running backs.
Sure
he had
did.
2 number 1 wide receivers and a defense that was unbelievable. Now, I love Jalen Hurts. I think he's a winner, and I love him, and I would have no problem. He's my franchise quarterback.
Sure.
I just didn't think he was an elite top 5 quarterback. I would have put him like top 10. And Philadelphia Eagle fans were livid.
Yeah.
But now it's awful quiet. Like they haven't come back in a long time.
Do you know the funniest thing, though, is that, like, I would say to that, I think Matt Stafford has a great offensive line. And Matt Stafford has 2 of the greatest receivers in the league. And Matt Stafford is the best coach in football or something like that.
Right.
So it's interesting, man. There's always, you have to take those things into account.
But I didn't have Matthew Stafford in my top 5.
Right, but you have him as your MVP.
But I'm okay with that for one season to have that. But I think that's a special season that he just lights it up.
Let's go back to that. Has there ever been a quarterback who gets into that discussion who as an MVP? Maybe Rich Gannon? Rich Gannon was an MVP,
Cam Newton?
You never thought Cam Newton was a top 5 quarterback in the league?
No.
That's interesting.
I thought his 1 year was more of the anomaly than that was the exception to the rule.
Yeah.
Most of the times he was a little bit up and down, was not great with the football, needed to develop as a passer.
Yeah.
I thought he could have been the LeBron James of the NFL.
Yeah, you've said
From
that
a physical
before.
stature. I thought he was that impressive. And for whatever reason, he never developed into that.
Yeah.
And really, after that MVP season, it was kind of all downhill from there. And the shots started to mount up. His body started to break down. But I never thought he was a top 5 quarterback in the game. But he was an MVP. But he wasn't a top 5, I didn't think.
So just because I have a touch of ADD, if we're being honest, and we don't have a script, so I was getting killed over the week on Twitter. All right, so people were asking me. It was a John Elway conversation. Now admittedly, I was a little young when John Elway was doing his thing. I guess towards the end, I remember him handing the ball off to Terrell Davis and the helicopter thing. We were talking about like most physically gifted quarterbacks, and guys on Twitter were telling me John Elway.
Yeah,
and I was like Cam Newton, and they were like, John Elway was the same type of athlete as Cam Newton. And I'm like, are you kidding me? Like, how physically gifted was just a little sidebar? Tell me about John.
That's a tough one. See, that to me is a little generational. Like, athletes are bigger, stronger, faster.
Yeah.
Elway was a sick athlete and probably the best athlete to play quarterback up until that time.
Okay.
I think Cam Newton's a unicorn. Like, his size to be able to run the way he did was just out of this world. But Lamar Jackson is a better runner.
Well,
Elway was a better passer.
Yeah.
Than probably all of them.
Really?
He was a better natural passer and he could throw on the run, but he wasn't as elite of a runner. But he was still an incredible runner.
He's a big dude too, right?
Yeah. Huge dude.
Yeah.
There's some highlights of him that are just insane with him running around, making guys miss, and then launching. I think he's like kind of like a mobile Matthew Stafford.
That's incredible.
Like
that's
a cannon,
that's a great package, man.
Like a cannon for an arm, but he could do it on the run.
He got drafted by the Yankees, I think, too, out of Stanford, right? Yeah, crazy, great athlete.
There's a documentary on Netflix right now.
I heard someone actually
it's just
told
a
me
one
about that
part.
yesterday.
It's like an hour and a half.
Some guy told me that
It
yesterday.
is awesome.
Yeah.
It is fantastic. It's worth going to watch.
And then you back to Cam Newton real quick because, like you said, unicorn. So if you guys know, I spent a couple of months in the offseason with Carolina. It was because I trained with Cam at IMG Academies. At IMG Academies, if you don't know, it's like Disney World for athletes. So it's basically like you never know who you're going to see there. So the first day Cam was there, I saw him from a distance, and I'm like, oh, damn, we got an NBA guy in the house, huh? Like, I thought he was like a power forward in the NBA. And as I got closer, I'm like, he's just as big as a power forward in the NBA. He's just not that. Dude, Cam is every bit of like 6'5 and a half, 6'6", 258, 260, and like
a monster.
Oh, bro, he still looks like that today.
Yeah,
which is crazy.
That's the Elway doc.
Oh,
it's
cool.
really good. It is worth watching. I actually watched my wife. She kind of got into it, so because it's very like personal, off the field stuff.
Yeah,
some of the adversities dealt with. So yeah, it's really cool. I didn't realize how much he had a resentment towards Terry Bradshaw because when he was coming out, he was drafted by the Colts. Remember, so he was drafted. That's why he went and played for the Yankees. He's like, all right, I don't want to play for the Colts. Like, I'm not playing for them.
Were the Colts in India?
Yes, I think so.
Okay, was that like 83 or like 84?
Yes, class of 84. So he didn't want to go play for him, so he was like, and Terry Bradshaw, as a current player, was ripping him. Like, who does this young punk? I mean, they have audio of them, video of Terry Bradshaw. Like, I don't know who this guy thinks he is, trying to tell, this is our system, thinks he's better than all of us. And then it carried over to Terry Bradshaw as a broadcaster. Early in Elway's career was like, he can't win the big game. He's somebody who always had to have his own way, and he still held it against him. And then one of the greatest moments in the film is when John Elway wins the Super Bowl and wins the MVP. Terry Bradshaw has to hand him the trophy.
That's amazing.
And Elway said it was like the greatest, what's up moment. Yeah, in his whole entire life. It's pretty cool.
Did those guys ever overlap as players, or by the time Elway was kind of doing his thing?
Early. I think maybe there might have been 1 or 2 years
because usually that's where something like that would dissolve, right? The two guys would have a little respect for each other as they were both players at the same time. Interesting.
No, that was bad blood through and through.
Okay, so can we just talk a little bit deeper about the game?
Yeah.
So what do you think? Keys to the game, any big matchups in the game that you're looking forward to? All right, let's just say it this way. Finish the sentence, all right? The Seattle Seahawks won the Super Bowl. The biggest reason was, boom. What do you think for the Seattle Seahawks to win is going to be the biggest reason?
The dark side was able to confuse Drake May.
Nice.
Make him look like a second-year starter, have him off his game. I think Drake May is a very rhythmic passer. Once he gets into a groove, he's incredibly tough to stop. So I think they got to make him uncomfortable.
Interesting stat regarding that. Mike McDonald, 9-0 this year against first and second year quarterbacks. So he has a propensity to be able to make these guys uncomfortable by throwing stuff at him. I guess.
What did you have for that?
What would I say? I would say if Sam Darnold locks in, and it's going to be the quarterback play. I don't know. I think that's I would have kept it bold, but I would have kept it broad. But that's what it would have been. It's going to be quarterback play. If the Seattle Seahawks win, if Sam Darnold has the game that I've seen him have the last couple of weeks, protects the football, maintains the efficient Sam Darnold that we've been seeing, and I think they lose. New England loses if Drake May doesn't. Drake May, I think this is what I do think, though. I think Seattle can win if Sam Darnold has a marginally good game. I think New England can't win unless Drake May has a monster game.
I would agree with that.
Okay.
It is a Super Bowl week. Super Bowl Sunday is one of tradition. It's one of great memories.
Yeah, of course.
What are some of your best Super Bowl memories, either from a personal standpoint, it could be something off the field, the game itself? What are sort of your top moments from the Super Bowl?
So my favorite Super Bowl ever, and obviously, guys, I didn't get to live much Super Bowl stuff with my Jets fandom, right? But being part of this little bit of time I spent with the Chiefs has given me so much joy over the last decade. So my first year down here in South Florida, I was flying up and down. I was on a temporary deal here with VT. And they were kind of like, if you don't do something crazy, maybe we'll keep you. So I was like, I hope they keep me. So I would fly up every week on Friday and spend time with my fiance at the time, now my wife. And I would go up and do that for 8 months. Well, I finally got her to come down for a weekend, and I sprained my ankle terribly, where I was in a walking boot and everything, and I was still staying in a hotel. But my wife at the time came down, and we got to watch the Chiefs win the Super Bowl when McCole Hardman scored that touchdown to win it. And that's probably my favorite one because I got to see my wife down here. It was and I like to, I'm not a big party during the game guy.
Right.
I want to sit and watch the game. So anytime people invite me to stuff, I try to make an excuse.
Right.
Oh, you know what? I can't go because something let's just say we always have people over for the game.
Yes.
My wife might not let me go.
Right. We have people over for the game all the time, and usually it's my wife's friends.
Okay.
And they're their husbands are cool, but we're not super tight.
Yeah.
But we can get along. And most of the time I'm I'll go outside and watch it outside so I can really get into the game and watch the broadcast. And then everybody watches the halftime show together.
Yeah.
That's the entertainment moment. And then I'm back in the game because I want to lock in. I don't want to be talking about, even I love golf. I don't want to be talking about my golf game during I want to be talking about the game or basically just watching and listening to the game.
Now, are you obviously you're the Dolphins are your Jets for me, right?
Yeah.
Is the Dolphins the team that you'd like to see win the Super Bowl the most, or you want to see the Giants win, or you want to see the Broncos win?
The thing is, the Giants have won more recently, right? And those are some great memories. I had two. I actually went to the Super Bowl when Dan Marino was in it with the Dolphins
Probably thought you were
against
going
the
to see
49ers.
that 3 or 4 more times.
I did.
Right?
Everybody did.
Oh,
and I was devastated when the Dolphins lost that game. But probably my favorite memory was 1991.
Okay.
Super Bowl 25 with the Giants and the Bills in Tampa.
I
was a junior in high school.
Okay.
And I drove over with my dad and my two brother-in-laws at the time. We drove over from Fort Lauderdale, Tampa. It was a 3 or 4 hour drive. We went to Burns Steakhouse before the game, went to the game. And the greatest moment may not have been the game. That was Whitney Houston's national anthem, which I was crying. It was grown men are tearing up and crying throughout the anthem. There's helicopters hovering for security because it was the peak, like the Gulf War had just started.
Yeah.
It was the most like patriotic moment you could ever have. And then, of course, the game itself.
Awesome.
Was incredible, and I had no idea. I was not a Giants fan. I was not I was just rooting for a good game, and it was the Scott Norwood wide right, which led to the Giants Super Bowl, which kind of was maybe a foreshadowing of me getting to play for them. But that experience, just being my dad, my brother-in-law, is like one of those family moments that you remember forever. But the Whitney Houston might have been one of the all-time. I mean, I don't know if there's a national anthem that's ever been done better or more memorable.
She ruined it for everybody in the best way, right? Like, how could you ever match up to that? And then what was it? Was the Michael Jackson Super Bowl halftime the one where he stood still for like 4 minutes and didn't do a thing and had the whole crowd just going absolutely bonkers for him?
Yes.
Dude, imagine the Stones on you to know that every minute you're there is costing probably like $3 million.
Oh my gosh.
And you're just like,
just soaking it all
locked in here.
Yeah. Here's that was the Norwood. Here's Michael Jackson. Yep. We got a little bit of everything on here. The Super Bowl halftime shows, those are definitely always standouts for me. I was at the Miami one when Prince sang Purple Rain.
Apparently that's like a top 3 Super Bowl.
Oh, yeah.
Halftime.
Here's your Michael Jackson just reveling in it.
Just the gall on this guy, and I loved every second of it.
I don't see a lot of people clapping, though. I mean, I'm sure they're yelling. He was just
I don't know if they knew
setting the stage, like what he was doing. Is he frozen?
It depends where in the 4 minutes you are, because for the first 2 minutes you were probably cheering. The next two.
Yes. And I think they even cheered more after he took off his sunglasses. The whole thing was there.
Did you? I don't think we want to really dig in, but you're hearing about like this year's supposed to be a crazy one, huh?
Well, I hope it's been. Because there were a lot of rumors on the internet that he was going to dress, was going to wear a dress.
Yeah, he was going to dress.
I mean, did you watch the Grammys? He was very political at the Grammys with his ice out comments. Football fans want to watch football and be entertained.
Oh, man.
If you play your music, my daughters love Bad Bunny. They love some of his music. I don't even know what he's saying in half of it, but I get it. We're kind of dancing around by the pool. You can kind of see it. It's good. That'll be great. If you just do that, it'll be great. There won't be any problems. But if he comes out and he might have that pin on, if he makes some sort of political statement, then it's just going to become a whole sideshow.
Yeah.
But that does feel like a very trendy thing to do right now, especially if you're on the left, is to take shots at ice and say ice out. If you had me bet on it, I would say he probably does say something.
I think he probably will too.
But at least I don't know if that's better than the dress or not. But I would rather him just go perform.
Yeah, I'm the same. At this point, I'm pretty much the same. I think that's the difference between, like we were thinking about. I was thinking about it this week, right? I was talking to my mom on the phone, and she told me, because you know what it was? We're talking about cards, right? I have a card with Ken Griffey Jr. called The Show or something like that. And it's got Keith Olbermann and it's got Dan Patrick on it. And I was talking to my mom about how when I was a little kid, because she started collecting cards with me when I was little. Oddly enough, it was my mom, not my dad. And it was every morning before school, I would sit down in front of the TV and I would mock broadcast SportsCenter.
Yeah.
And we were talking about how like that was what we used to resort to. Like that was our getaway from everything, man. That's what we used to want to. We didn't want to deal with the other crap. And we go over to sports, man. And that's where we just lose ourselves for a little while. It was the best.
The other thing I will tune in for to see if there's a surprise guest for Bad Bunny. Like usually there's somebody that shows up.
Sure.
Remember Serena Williams was in the halftime show with Kendrick Lamar. Remember that?
Yeah,
like
she
randomly.
dogged on somebody.
She
in
was
that,
Drake, wasn't it?
Oh yeah, maybe it was Drake.
Drake is rumored to maybe be a surprise guest. Cardi B is another one. Mark Anthony, potentially. So we'll see if we get any of those surprise guests at the Super Bowl. The game itself, hopefully it's a banger of a game.
And then let's talk about Super Bowl moments or Super Bowl performances.
Yeah.
All right, any big ones that jump out at you? I know we talked about it a little before. You were talking about a couple of them, and I think we kind of feel the same on it.
I mean, my all-time moment, I remember where I was when I was watching it. I was working at ESPN. I was at a buddy of mine's house who was a producer, and we were in the basement, and it was 28-3, and we're all like, this sucks. Boy. This sucks. This game's horrible. Everyone wants to see a good Super Bowl.
Yep.
And Tom Brady was absolutely getting rocked the entirety of the first half. until he wasn't. And then all of a sudden he starts mounting this incredible comeback. 28-3 becomes a meme. It's etched in history as one of the greatest comebacks in Super Bowl history.
Yeah.
This to me was Tom Brady's most defining moment.
Incredible.
Like when he put the team on his back. Yes, you can criticize Kyle Shanahan for some of the play calling late with Matt Ryan, but that was Tom Brady being the GOAT. Like, yeah, he doesn't even need that moment.
Yeah.
But I thought this was one of the ones where it resonated. This really cemented Tom Brady as the greatest quarterback to ever play.
Yeah, that's one of those things. Like, you almost need the other team, like Shanahan you were talking about. You almost need them to screw it up as bad as you need to go take it, right? Because it has to be a combination of both. We had Mohamed Sanu come join us on our show the last time we were doing a VT Sports show, and it was when the Patriots were winning. I said he'd be so interesting to jump on because he was on the wrong side of the 28-3, and then he got to go be teammates with Tom Brady. And I was like, what did you learn from the time with him after obviously watching him mount that? And that's what he was saying, man. He just said, you just know in 15 minutes that there's something just so special about this guy, right?
Yeah.
And all right, so my moments are, everything on my moments is underdog stuff. I love the underdog stuff. Start off with the Eli Manning to Mario Manningham.
Yeah.
I think it's probably the greatest throw in Super Bowl history. Fourth quarter, 38 yards. He hits Mario Manningham in this little soft spot in the zone right here. The throw was perfect. The catch was incredible.
Yep.
And that was not, I mean, when I don't even think this is Eli Manning's greatest play, because obviously they
Come haul that in.
incredible catch. And then Nick Foles. What a great job. Let's shout to Nick Foles,
Yeah.
because he came on, was a backup, wound up 373, 3 touchdowns, and a Philly special.
Yeah.
And that goes down in
Do
history.
you remember
for
what
us.
Brady did in that game?
He's never had bad Super Bowls.
I think
I'm sure
he threw
did
for
great.
550.
Yeah,
I
incredible.
think he had a Super Bowl record passing
Yeah.
yards. And my moment was this play right here,
Yeah.
the Philly special,
Yeah.
which became so famous when
Yeah.
he's out there. You cannot believe they're going to run this trick play, and it goes to Nick Foles, who had such an incredible run. Fantastic. Did you see Nick Foles tweet at the Broncos?
No, what did he
When
say?
Bo Nix went down, he was like, hey, don't worry, Broncos. You know, the Patriots have struggled against backups before in the
Oh,
past.
that's a great tweet.
Yeah, it was a good one until the weather totally derailed that potential
it
game
sucked.
from being any good.
Yeah, that game was terrible.
Yeah.
I actually like this video itself. We can't hear it, but this whole thing is cool because it's
yeah.
almost like the head coach it wasn't even a thought in his head, and Nick Foles was so confident that he was like, "What do you think about Philly?" And he was like, "You want to run it?" And it's like you like the trust you must have in a guy. He's not your standard backup though, right? Like he was.
No.
Nick Foles was really good. He was in the league a long time at
Yeah.
that point, so I think the coach felt like I can trust him, man. Let's do it.
Yeah.
So,
that was
very cool.
incredible.
That was
what
cool.
other ones stuck out to you?
What all-time? I mean, obviously, I grew up watching Eli beat the Patriots twice, so for me, that's probably the biggest underdog one. Obviously, the team that was making a run at the greatest team, maybe in sports history, not just football history. That was probably that one. I thought maybe the greatest play is James Harrison.
Yeah.
Pick on the goal line. He went 99 yards, and he's a big body too.
Yep.
But okay, we're just shooting the crap. What do you think Eli Manning should he have been in this year?
I thought
0 for 2.
I did not think he would be first ballot. I thought that was fair. I still think he'll get in because of the New York aspect. You're a New York Giant, you get favorable treatment, and you get 2 Super Bowls. Now, I have had this debate with people who are anti-Eli.
Okay.
And the argument is, at what point was he a top 3 or top 5 quarterback in the league in any of his years? And because he was playing against guys like Tom Brady and Peyton Manning and Ben Roethlisberger and Drew Brees. Never. So is that justified?
In patches like that where I think you're 100% right. Like if that's the case, top 3 quarterbacks of all time, then one of the, obviously Brady's getting in, Peyton Manning's, you got to choose between Rodgers and Roethlisberger. Those guys are both Hall of Famers to me. You know what I mean?
Right.
It's interesting. Like that would be my argument for Matt Ryan or Matt Stafford. I think was Matt Stafford ever a top 3 quarterback in football?
I think
forever.
he
He's
was
gonna have
one
all
of the
the
most
stats.
underrated. I think Matt Ryan, who did have an MVP, Matthew Stafford will add to that. He'll get an MVP this season. The Hall of Fame has been watered down.
Yeah.
And I do think
every
that's
Hall
a
of Fame
problem.
has been watered down.
Yes.
Yeah.
I think the standards have been lowered somewhat. You feel bad. Players get older, and you have if you have to campaign or politic, which a lot of players do, then I'm sorry, you shouldn't be in. Like it should be sort of evident, sort of obvious. Where, I mean, do we need to go to a point where it's one ballot, like 1 year, like either one or done?
That'd be crazy.
But
That
I
would be
mean, that
crazy.
would make it back to the way it's supposed to be, which is the most exclusive club in all of sports.
Yeah, it's super hard because that I agree with you there. I think it's
And who cares if you don't? You could have 10 guys in 1 year, but it's just you're either in or you're out.
Well,
Like, why do we need more time?
Well, there's always
going
to be that guy who's not going to let himself vote for like 3 receivers, right? Like 'cause right now, if you look at the receivers waiting list, it's like there was a time.
See, that's stupid to me. You know,
I
like
agree.
I think you should be if there's 5 great receivers that all happen to retire at the same time.
I agree with that.
By all means, put them in. Like I think that's an adjustment you could make.
I agree with that. I hate the compilers. I'm not a big like the compiler guys get in. The one I think about the most is there's a guy named Harold Baines.
Yeah.
And Harold Baines is in the Baseball Hall of Fame.
Yep.
And Harold Baines has like 2 All-Stars to his name. I hate to call that Harold Baines. I'm sorry, bro. He's better than I ever was at my sport. But it's like I think the compilers are the ones that kill me. And as guys start hanging on and playing longer because their bodies and medical kind of advance and they're allowed to stick around for a longer time, you're going to find more guys who get 400 home runs or guys who catch, for 10,000 yards that I've never wow, that guy's one of the best. He's never been one of the best receivers in the league.
Yeah.
But do you think that there should be some years where nobody gets into the Hall?
I'd be okay with that. Like
Interesting.
if there's not anybody worthy of eligibility,
That
why do
kills
we
the
put
Hall, though, right? The
yeah,
Hall has a tough.
but
time
I don't
with
think
it.
that would ever happen. I don't think there's ever a year where you just wouldn't have a guy.
Hold on a second. Keep talking for like 3 seconds. I got to see something.
You got a list of guys that are
No,
coming
I
out
ha-
that,
there's
that are
a-
just not very good.
Hold on, I'm gonna find the MLB Hall of Fame class.
Oh, some of them are less than stellar.
Oh, it's brutal.
But then they have to have a
It's
show. They have to put it on TV. They have
Right.
to talk about it.
Right.
They have to have a ceremony. And they have the reunion.
Yeah, the Hall of Fame class of like 26. Let me see. Eligible. I'm killing us right now. Hold on.
No, you're good. I think the Hall of Fames have gotten too soft.
I just
They
think it's
need
too easy to get in.
Exactly. And it's hard, and nobody wants to say no. But sometimes you got to tell them no.
All right, 2027's eligibles. I'm just going to rip off like the top 10. Jake Arrieta, Jay Bruce, Asdrubal Cabrera, Starlin Castro, Wade Davis, Dexter Fowler, Todd Frazier, Brett Gardner, Jay Happ, Scott Kazmir, John Lester, Andrew Miller, Irvin Santana, Buster Posey, Joaquin Soria, Ryan Zimmerman.
Buster Posey's in.
Buster Posey is in.
Give me my Florida State guy in. I think he's in. I think
so
Jake
weird.
Arrieta might have a case there.
Yeah, but none of I would
Right.
be
No.
That could be a year where nobody gets into the Hall of Fame. You know
Right.
what I mean? And
Right.
like that kills the year for the Hall of Fame. Like think about the NFL. They center a whole Hall of Fame game around it, right? They bring everybody in town for the week or the weekend, and you would have to do that with it's the first preseason game of the year. So it's tough, man. I think it's everything like
My man
everything.
Buster Posey, as a catcher, hit 302 in his career.
Okay.
7-time All-Star, 3-time World Series champ.
And I'm big with that too. Like batting average means something to me, but nowadays they don't care about batting average
I
anymore.
know, they should.
It's like you could be a 300 hitter and if you hit like 14 home runs, nobody cares.
Yeah.
Right? There's a guy who's his name is I can't remember it right now. He's a second baseman for the Padres, I think last year. He wins the batting title like every year, and he's trying to find a home, or he just found a home. He should be playing somewhere. Arise, maybe Luis Arise. Try Luis Arise. That might be
Was
it.
he the guy on the Marlins? I think he was on the Marlins for a minute.
I don't know, but I know he's a guy who's like his batting average is nuts, but he's got no power numbers, and he's not a great. I don't think he. And you would think he wins batting titles. He got 2
He
or
was
3
on the
batting
Marlins
titles
there a couple years ago.
Yeah,
I
2 or
remember
3
that.
batting titles, and he was like fighting to find a home last year, and it's
Yeah.
like crazy.
I mean, if you play good for the Marlins, you get traded.
That's
good
it.
to go
There's
there.
a lot of teams like that.
All right. Speaking of baseball, cards.
Talk about it.
Let's go. I want to have some fun here.
Do it.
We'll do our reactions after this baseball
Do
card
it.
conversation because I have the fever.
It's a
And
bad
the
one,
only
man.
prescription is a downtown card,
Oh, boy.
which I cannot get.
Oh, boy.
So the reason this is how it started. One, talking to you,
Sorry.
and you guys, and everybody around here, Deli, and everybody,
Yeah.
everybody's
Yeah,
got
we got
cards, and you
problems.
guys are talking about them. So I went and I found an old box of cards in my in my office,
Love
and
it.
they were like buried under there. Hadn't opened them, and I saw a complete set from 1970, 1971, 1972.
Nice.
And on the outside, it said like mint. And I was like, all right, let me check and see what they are. So in there, I got some cards. This is actually a 73 Mike Schmidt.
Nice.
That's my new stuff. Oh, here's a Ken Griffey Sr. rookie
it.
card.
Love it.
I've got Boog Powell. You probably don't know who that is. Carl Yastrzemski. Yaz is a
Yaz,
Hall of
for
Famer.
sure. We know Yaz.
Brooks Robinson. You know who that guy
Great
is.
fielding third
That's
baseman
from
for the
71.
Orioles.
I got a
Yep, for
couple
sure.
Thurman Munsons,
Yankees cap,
including
stud.
his 1970 rookie card, which, so here's where I got excited. And here's where the problem is. because I saw this rookie card and I looked at it. I'm like, oh man, this looks like mint condition. And then I found out about the grading system.
Yeah.
Because to me, this card looks perfect.
Yeah.
It looks absolutely outstanding.
Yeah.
And then I put a picture of it on there and it came back and it was like, and now I'm telling you, this card I think is worth like 30 grand.
Okay.
If it's a PSA 10.
Yeah.
But it doesn't have the exact split isn't the same. The cut's a little off. It's a little wider spacing on the one side as opposed to the other. And then this is what was discouraging.
Okay.
Because it goes from 30 grand to $30 in a hurry.
Yeah.
Like it is, I mean, it is 10, it's like 30 grand, 9 is 10 grand, and 8 is 1,000, and anything else is like $30.
Yeah.
So I thought I was going to retire off my card collection. And as I'm realizing now, I might not be retiring anytime soon. But all of that conversation, talking with you, has me out visiting baseball card stores.
Spending too much money, man.
Spending way too much money. I picked up these because you guys, I went to Target on the way home from the show last week.
Okay.
Because you did an opening with your baseball cards.
We did.
So I was like, I want to get some. So I went to Target, put like a $35 box.
There you go.
And then I went to a store, and those guys are like, those are garbage. Those aren't hobby boxes.
Yeah, we have to teach you the difference. So there's levels. Look, Kendrick said it, right? There's levels to this. Yeah. So there are your standard blaster boxes, which are going to be like your small rectangular boxes. You get like 6-packs in there.
Yeah.
Those are ones you get in retail. It's going to be few and far between where you're going to write home. Like I had a chance to buy those today. Full transparency, my role today was to bring us cards. I went to 3 different places, and I was like, none of these things we're going to hit anything out of, so I didn't do it. I'll have to get something better. We're going to a card show tomorrow. I promise I'll hold up my end. But there's blaster boxes, there's mega boxes, and then there's hobby boxes. It sucks, but the way they tend to do it is they put the things that all the regular folks want to find in the boxes that all the regular folks can't afford.
Right.
So that's what sucks. But occasionally, you will stumble upon something like myself. Recently, I hit what's called a case hit. And that was like the greatest, one of the best cards in the case. It's the best card that the case offers. And it was a downtown, and it was out of this year's Optic Football, Ashton Genty.
Yeah.
That's like
you showed me that one.
Graded
that
properly,
awesome.
That'll be like $1,000 card, which is pretty sick. But I mean, just the odds of pulling one of those are super hard. And then sort of my introduction to the thing that you had, I got as a 9-year-old boy. You just got it. It was, I spent all my communion money to buy a Ken Griffey Jr. Upper Deck #1 rookie. It was like the card of the generation, right? He's sitting there, his hat's on. Everyone knows this card. And I'm like, bro, I'm buying it. I spent all my money. I think it was $90 at the time. And for me as a 9-year-old, it's everything I had. And I bought it, and I brought it to a card show many, many years later, and they told me, don't even bother getting it graded. What do you mean? I've been sitting on this card. It's been in a hard plastic for the last 20 years.
Yeah.
You know how hard it is for a kid to not take this out? He goes, it's off center. I said, has nothing to do with me? Like the guy just pulled me a bad card? It's like, yeah, unfortunately, that's the way it goes. So that was my introduction to, oh man, it was brutal.
Now, here's my question. How come we're not getting better at cutting these things cleanly?
I don't know.
Because you're telling me like a 2025, like I got this Trevor Lawrence.
Yeah.
Disco Ice.
Nice looking card.
Right?
Nice looking card.
You're telling me this could get graded anything less than a 10? I took it out of the pack and put it. So they still struggle with cutting them?
Well, it's not even always a cutting thing. The sucky part is it's so objective, right? Remember when you were a kid and you took your driver's test and I was always told, Chris, get the earliest driver's test of the day. I say, why do I get the earliest driver's test of the day? And they would say, because the guy who's still driving at 5 a.m., he's been driving with students all day. He thought he was going to die like 9 times. He's less likely to pass you, right? So now you send these cards into PSA. If you get the wrong guy who's just having a crappy day, like maybe his kid said something smart or his wife been busting his chops or the other way around, he just got into a fight. Your 10, Danny Kanell, could very well be an 8. So a lot of times people will get their 8s sent home, crack those suckers, and send them right back and come home with 10s, which is very difficult.
My buddy of mine said he cracked one
sucks.
open that got a 9. He got sent it back and it got a 10.
That sucks.
It was a Herbert card.
Yeah.
All right, which one do you want to open?
I'll take either.
Which did you pick?
I feel good about the fat pack. Let's do it.
All right, and I'll go with the skinnier one.
All right, you want to go first?
Sure.
We'll go
Now, how do you open? I watched YouTube videos on how to open. You pull the back here, right?
I like to.
You pull from the back?
That's my method, yeah.
Okay.
That's my method. You want to go fingers off the card, obviously.
Yeah. Yeah, just touch the edges.
Yeah, I try to.
And see, now I'm already screwed up.
And I'll wait on you.
All right.
Go ahead. You got the first ones.
All right. I got a lot of white, just plain vanilla.
You always
I'm smudging this one too. I just put a huge fingerprints all over it. So how do you open it? How do you say I'm a novice at this?
No, I tend to just I mean
you got to touch them a little bit.
If I'm home by myself, I'm just doing my thing.
I got a Buddha Baker.
Yeah, go through. Buddha Baker's a stud.
Yeah, but the card isn't.
No, it's not.
Jahmyr Gibbs stud, card's nothing.
Yeah, well, these are
as bland as they get. These are basically vanilla.
Well, these are your standard base cards.
Yeah, these are base
they're
garbage.
called base cards.
Justin Herbert, base garbage.
Base card.
Zamir White. Oh, I see some color.
Okay. Rated rookie Maris Lufau. Nice. So what you're looking for is see on the back, sees it stamped with a number?
It is not, I don't think.
So those are the ones you're really looking
Somebody
for.
told me that if they're stamped with a number, they're actually be faced the wrong way, so you see it easier.
Not always.
Okay,
not always.
so
and
not
sometimes they
always.
make the numbering really hard to find. Like if it's not in a great, clear spot, it's hard
I
to
got to go
see.
look through all mine.
Yeah, you do.
Then I got a Braylon Trice, rookie, and a Mason Smith, rookie.
Okay. All right.
So I just need to hope all these guys are Hall of Famers.
If they are, then maybe you can retire like you thought you would before.
Yes.
All right, so here we got Kyler Murray. I think he'll be moved relatively soon.
That's the other thing I'm realizing. How many there's a lot of Kyler Murrays out there.
Yeah. Well, there's a reason for that.
Yeah.
There's a reason for that, brother. Drake London.
Yep.
Aiden Hutchinson, stud.
Yep.
See, I'm already looking ahead.
I know. I see some colors.
Yeah, I see a little color on the edge there.
Some colors.
Bryce Young.
Yep.
Jonathan Taylor, one of the best football runners in the league. Joey Bosa, St. Thomas Aquinas' finest.
Yep.
Isaiah Spiller.
Yep.
Jacoby Myers, the law firm.
What's that one? That's the next one.
The next one's Terry McLaurin, who I like very much.
Scary Terry, but
Terry's
nothing special.
Tajay Spears, who's in a lot of packs too. And then let's see this one.
Come on, Drake May. Or quarterback, right? Bo Nix, Jaden Daniels.
So we usually open from the top, rated rookie. I'm looking for the helmet first. So it's a Washington
Shador, maybe?
It's a Commander. I'm thinking Luke McCaffrey.
Yep, you nailed it.
No, it's Ben Sinnott. He's in a lot of these things.
Yeah.
He's in a lot of them. Not a great sign either. Tyler Nubin is going to wrap it up for us with the Giants.
Yeah, that was a disappointing reveal. Let me ask you this.
Go ahead.
Do you put any of those in penny sleeves?
No,
I
sleeve my whole life I kept everything.
Yeah.
I sleeve the numbered and the autos. I keep the big inserts of like the rookies.
Right.
What my mistake is, and take this from me if you're at home watching this, I had a plethora of Jaden Daniels after last year, thinking, oh baby, I've got 26 Jaden Daniels rookies, all unique. I mean, now they're just coasters. Now they're just
until
coasters.
He lights it up next year.
Until he lights it up next year, yeah.
Then
it's
you
weird.
got it.
There's players though who never get like hot in the space. Like right now, you'd think Jackson Smith and Jigba's card to be off the charts.
Yeah.
For whatever reason, man, no one gets jacked up about Seattle. It's like there's guys that'll never be bad cards and guys that'll never be good cards for whatever reason.
JJ McCarthy's cards are supposedly on fire, and I'm like, I don't think he's ever going to be good.
After like when he came in as a rookie, nasty. You could have gotten rid of them in 2 seconds.
Yeah.
Now, a little iffy.
Yeah, very much up in the air.
Yeah.
All right, that was fun.
Yeah,
all right,
man,
what do we got for
week.
reactions to close this baby out? See what we got a little bit.
I
know where we're going.
Okay.
Oh my goodness.
Okay.
Gracious.
I mean,
all right. I got a great story about this guy.
Yeah.
This guy's
Jarrell?
name is Jarrell Big Baby Miller. All right. And when I was living in New York, me and my best friend Oscar used to go hoop at nighttime at Lifetime. This is before my wife, before I had any responsibilities.
Yeah,
I would go outside until
days.
12 o'clock,
Yeah.
sleep 3 hours. It was great. And we would hoop at Lifetime every night. And on the mats was always this guy hitting the bag, Jarrell Big Baby Miller.
Really?
So my buddy texted me this week. He said, you think 10 years ago he had that on his head? And we see him every day, and I think he didn't at the time. I think
Really?
it would have
was
been
an
knocked off
additional?
already, I think.
Yeah.
But yeah.
It was hilarious. And here's
crazy.
the picture of him. They found it. Oh man.
He was a great sport about it,
There's actually
too.
one of him on Instagram, I think, getting his hair done.
Yeah,
Like,
he
and
was a great
looks
sport
clean.
about it. Yeah,
yeah, he was.
He was
you gotta
real
be able
funny
to
about
laugh
it.
at yourself from
Yeah.
then. Oh, an all-time Hall of Fame moment.
Yeah, it was crazy.
For Hall of Fame bad moments. What else we got? Ooh, another boxing. What is this? Senior
ตัว
league?
มามันจะพยายาม
Both
ไป
these
กับ
guys.
เย็บ
Did
ไปต่อย
they
หมั
do
ด
boxing over
David
65? Over 75?
โดดข้อลำตัว
Is that a bad body shot?
Those are good body shots.
เจอหมัดที่สองครับนำตัว
Now, I
ต่อย
think
ได้
they're
หนัก
both
จริงๆครับ
old, right?
Oh, they're definitely
แล้ว
both.
ผู้
Yeah.
ก็
The problem is you don't
ยุ
bounce
ติการ
back
ชก
like
เลยครับโอ้โห
Oh, man.
you don't bounce back like that after like a nice spleen shot like you did when you were a young kid if you're 70, right?
I know. I wonder what the age group is in this thing. I'm going to go over 65, but maybe closer to 70.
Respect to them guys, though.
Yeah,
I
respect
respect
to
getting in
them
there.
guys. Absolutely. We got some hoops. Some high school hoops, maybe a little younger. Was that the cheerleader?
Oh, boy, he barely grazed rim.
He was too embarrassed from her saying, that's my man. Oh, this is good.
Oh, no.
Oh, that guy was mad. The coach was mad.
That's my man.
Oh, is this like a viral thing?
Yes,
Oh,
yeah, they're doing
no.
it. And now the problem is it's getting in their head at the free throw line.
That's my man. All right, babe.
Oh boy. I'd like to see the free throw percentage on guys during this.
Yeah, that
Interesting.
could definitely. And I mean, if you got two ladies, that could be a problem too. That could
That'd
really
be a
become
problem.
an issue.
That would be a real problem. Yeah.
Oh, that's good. Oh, how about watch this dude run over?
What?
He had
Where
to
is this?
apologize.
Is this
Japan?
Asia?
Yeah, I mean, look at the head bow. He felt awful. Those serves go like 80 miles an hour. That serve was ripped.
Oh, yeah.
Hit her right in the head, and he felt so bad. I mean, that was a pretty impressive slide.
He
slid
missed
about
by an
20
awful lot,
feet.
though, right? That girl she was in the seats.
Yes, that's why I think he felt so bad.
And on this date, we got Adam
Oh, is this an
Vinatieri.
onside kick? No,
Oh.
what is this?
Moving over this year.
Oh, I know what it is. I'm guessing Devin Hester.
From the Patriots.
Oh,
leading them as the
yeah.
Was it Devin?
all-time
There it
scorer,
is. Oh,
winning
God,
two
this guy was
Super
so great to
Bowls with
watch.
I was at this game in Miami. Yeah.
Oh, man.
and having another spectacular
You see the general on the side, too,
might have
Peyton
been
Manning,
the,
right afterwards?
Yeah, this might have been the Prince. That might have been the Who. I forget who the halftime was.
That game was down here, right?
Yeah, that's right.
Like punters were getting fired on the field.
Yeah.
Like they'd kick a ball to him, the coach would rip them right on the field.
Yeah.
Like, I just told you, don't kick the ball to him. And you just kicked it to him and he ran it back for a score.
Unreal.
Guys were losing jobs. That's how good Devin Hester was.
Sick.
Yeah, nuts.
Is he a Hall of Famer?
He's in.
I know.
This is my general
See,
thought.
I thought he shouldn't have been.
So this is my thought too with Mariano Rivera. I think if you can be the best at your position and it's unquestionable and you don't get in, then what's the point of the position, right?
I thought Mariano did it for a lot longer period of time.
It's fair.
That was my thing with
That's fair.
Hester. But I mean, I think it's sort of the diminishing. He was the greatest punt returner, kick returner
Yeah.
we've seen.
Yeah.
But he just didn't do it very long, which kind of goes like if he went longer, then he's a compiler, So it's like you can't win.
Am I mistaken when I say I actually think like a team signed him late and was that Percy Harvin maybe?
No, he kind of went downhill a little bit late.
But no, I feel like someone picked him up late and he had a monster punt return. Unless I'm thinking of maybe Percy Harvin. Was Percy Harvin the one who that kind of got a call? He definitely ran a punt back in the Super Bowl, but
yeah.
I don't know. I thought Devin Hester had a little run late in his career, maybe with the Falcons or something, where I remember
might
him
have.
like passing Deion or something for like the most.
Oh,
ever.
he definitely caught Deion.
He did?
Yeah, that's why you could say pretty
man.
safely
So-
he's the greatest all time.
Yeah, I think if you're the best at your position in anything, is there a position in sports that you could be the best that's ever done it unquestionably? Like place kicker, they get in the Hall of Fame, right?
Right.
Is there a position where you can be the best at it unequivocally and not get into the Hall of Fame in your sport?
Nah, that's the case for him,
Right.
for sure.
Yeah.
All right, that's a wrap for us. Appreciate you guys listening. Make sure you go subscribe to the channel, leave us some comments, let you know what you think of the show. We'll get back to you. As always, give us a follow at Danny Kanell.
At Manno Steel on Instagram. Yeah, guys, check everything out. We got some merch coming. We're trying to put together a couple live events, guys. Like, subscribe, share everything, man. We appreciate you guys.
See y'all.